this far, but I won't be here waiting. I won't be here for you. It's only the beginning, the start of recklessness and pain. When everything comes crashing down, this is the start of it again. Like outside we have a broken, the bond we made from a promise in the dark, the things we said we never faltered. This is the start of it again. Turn the tides when all is lost, but I won't be here waiting. I won't be here for you.
And that was Kill Shelter playing a song that is actually real goth.
Yeah.
A band that exists here and now, not from the 90s, not from the 80s, but now, playing real goth music. Of course, the members all look like they're my age, so I don't know if that really counts.
I think it counts.
But anyway, we were going to do a writer's room, but we didn't. I am J.Ishiro Finney, author and alien in a human suit. And I've been working all day. And beside me, who has also been working all day, is
You're J.Ishiro and you're a workaholic. Indeed. Hi, everyone. It's Kat Rocha, the night editor. Good evening. How is everyone today on this fine hump day?
who's gonna hump on hump day?
Probably a lot of people.
Humping on hump day. That's
Yep. Smack that ass.
yeah, exactly. So how is everyone? How is your Wednesday? Has it been satisfying to you? Or has your Wednesday been small and inadequate like a street taco?
My Wednesday's been pretty damn good, actually. It was not a street taco.
It was not?
No, it was not Taco Tuesday.
It was not taco. Well, hey, then there you go. That's all you need. That was last night.
Yes.
It's been a day. We're both tired.
Yeah, we're both tired.
And that's why we're not doing a writer's room. Instead, you've just got us rambling.
Because we wanted to do a show, we wanted to hang out with all of you, and we wanted to just have fun. And yes, please support JEC with Piss and Apocalypse.
I am so fucking looking forward to that. And once again, I will repeat, my man, once the time comes for the book to be laid out, I shall lay it out for you. And I will do a stellar job because that's just the kind of guy. God, what the fuck's wrong with me right now?
You're fine.
You know what?
You're just out of it.
I thought I had an image of Piss Apocalypse in here, but I don't.
Would it make you feel well? No, that's not. Well, no, that's Reiko.
Yeah, that's Reiko.
Well, would it make you feel better if you had booze? You're thinking about it.
I'll have a.
The answer is yes. You would feel.
You know,
better.
no, I take that. I'll take 2 shots of sake.
You take 2 shots of sake? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the coffee's not doing the job. I think it's time to go in the other direction. It is time to go in the other direction. Are you going to join me in such things?
I will imbibe a little bit of Janelle's Valkyrie's backhand because I've been wanting.
Are you going to have a shot?
Yeah, I'm going to have some of it. I've been very.
I would
curious
say
how it
because of
tastes.
how potent that stuff is, 1 shot.
Like 13%.
It's not normal 13%. And you know that.
I was only going to have 1 shot.
Okay.
I don't want more because I have to work tomorrow.
Although bring it in here because I want to smell it.
Okay. You want to get a contact high?
I can't drink that stuff. It'll fucking kill me. So anyway, I'll show you what I've been doing today. You know, I always think, it'll only take a little bit of time. But I'm a goddamn perfectionist. I am a fucking perfectionist and I can't fucking help it. And that is, I want to get the Richard Steele stuff out of the way and so that I'm not focusing on it at all. My wife was very kind and bought me a Shochico by sake, which is really damn good. It's a good brand. It's a very good brand. It's one of the few made in America that taste right, taste correct. And that's because the company prides itself, it's a Japanese company, prides itself on making sure that it did everything it could to grow rice in conditions similar to what they have in Japan. That does mean they're stuck in the Bay Area, but hey, for good sake, whatever. Wait, gray aliens in human suits are glass cannons? I'm completely lost at this point. And I just started. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were reading something else. Anyway, I'm glad that you're. Hey, Trenton, once you're done reading it, come on the air. We'll review it. You can review Draco's book. I think that would be awesome to get a review from you about Star Warden. Because again, I can review something, Kat can review something, but being that we're both professionals, we're not going to give you the same I don't know. There's something about just a normal fan who is reading the book just to read the book and enjoy it, who's going to give you a review that I can't. Because as a writer, I will always look at it through the lens of a writer. And that does not necessarily equal up with, will the audience enjoy it? But anyway, I'll show you what I've been doing. I always think that something's going to take a day or 2 days, but no, I'm a fucking perfectionist. The butt steak deal here. I was not going to do a print edition. Okay, because I figured, why bother? But no, you psychopaths actually want it in print. You psychopaths want it in print. Okay?
They're not psychopaths. They are refined and distinguished people who are our audience.
Okay, yeah, but
Call it high culture, like with Monty Python.
But yeah,
You want to smell it?
Oh, holy shit! It's
Just a little bit.
No, it smelled like I just inhaled a bar. What? Why are you laughing at me?
I'm sorry. I find the fact that you can't hold your liquor endearing. It's probably really good that you can't.
I can hold my sake.
You can hold your sake, but
just fine.
But no, I
Look,
legitimately find it
I'm
cute.
half Japanese, I'm half Irish, and I did not get the Irish gene for being immune to alcohol.
You like Irish coffees?
Yeah, but that's not the same.
No.
So anyway,
they make you turn green in the way you don't like.
Because I am a fucking perfectionist, I wasn't going to give you guys a cheap, let's just throw this into a book and print it. Because I kind of felt bad about the last one I did. Kat's reviewing the alcohol right now.
Very good. I wish Janelle was on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
it's like Welch's with a punch.
Say it into the mic.
It's like Welch's with a punch.
So I kind of felt bad about the first Richard Steele book because I really did just throw it in. That was a quick slap together job. I don't think it was a very good job, personally.
Well, to be honest, you put it out there for shits and giggles.
I had no idea.
If it made a buck, hey, it made a buck.
Well, I mean, the print edition is not that great.
Oh.
I really did just throw it together.
Well, you really shouldn't say that to the audience who may have spent money on it.
By my standards.
Okay.
It looks like a typical Amazon book.
Okay.
But by my standards, I want all of my books to look like they came out of a printing press that are professionally done.
Okay. And the thing is, I do agree with that. I totally agree with that.
So, no.
How many is that? 1 or 2?
This is number 2.
That's number 2? Okay.
You have a problem with that?
No, just making sure.
So anyway, yeah, I decided if they really are going to pay money for this, I'm not going to skimp. I'm going to give them a book that is professionally made.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, there is effort put into the graphic design in this book, even though
more effort.
There is serious, real graphic design.
There you go.
Professional level grade graphic design put into this book because I just felt like if you were going to buy it, damn it, I wanted it to look good.
Well, especially because it's 3 short stories. It's not a full book like the last one was.
Also, if you guys are actually going to be willing to spend $8 on this thing, well, no, this is probably going to be about 5.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are going to spend $5 on this thing, I didn't want to skimp. So I put illustrations coming from the computer on almost every page. Because that's just the kind of guy I am.
You're very thoughtful that way.
As you can see, this layout is very involved.
You know, the fact that this that the AI can't seem to render computers. I'd love to type in Neil Breen and see what it does.
Neil Breen. Feel kind of warm now.
Yeah,
That's nice.
good.
I'll be honest. I want to chug the bottle now, but I'm okay.
Don't chug the bottle.
Well, I've been kind of wired. So, again, I think this is one of my favorites because it really does capture the scene amazingly.
Right down to the fact that she has no hand.
Yeah. And yes, getting the AI to spit out scenes that looked like what was being described took some effort. And I will admit, in this one, I did a little bit of cheating. I'll tell you when I get to the cheating. This scene here of Mr. Rockhard being a gentleman and bringing Allison Starbucks coffee in the morning after she's had a horrible hangover and puked all over the walls. For the life of me, I couldn't get the AI to render puke all over the walls, so I added puke all over the walls. See, I do that for you. Look at all that puke.
Yes.
I did that for you. Also, what the hell is wrong with his hands?
He's not he's levitating the Starbucks cups with his mind.
Okay. There's no nipples. It's okay to show.
Yeah. No nipplage. In fact, the way it's rendered, you really can't tell if those are boobs or a butt.
This one too. I added vomit because for the life of me, I could not get it to add vomit because Allison's covered in vomit in this scene. And she's doing a tearful admission while she cries over her vomit-covered body while drinking Starbucks because that's the kind of story this is. And that's the kind of story you guys want, apparently. We all love stories. Oh, now, as I said, Allison is a fanfic writer, or no, a lit RPG writer.
Yes.
And this is a scene from her.
She's going to be famous one day.
Yes. And this is a scene from her lit RPG, and you get to read segments of her lit RPG story.
Yes.
Now, I will say those segments, I just let the computer write. Like I said, most of this story, Kat and I gave it a proper rewrite. Anything that was the lit RPG story that the character wrote, we didn't touch. But here she's struck with inspiration after taking a shower to write more.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, she's letting the girls write in that scene.
Yes. And then Allison saves the day.
Yes.
And
she saves the butt steak deal.
And because she saves the day, her boss rewards her. I mean, see, this is oh, shit.
What? Oh, it got pushed.
Found an error. Well, that's good. Oh, okay. It's because she saved the day. Her boss rewarded her with a night on the town. And what does that night on the town entail?
It's Five Fingers and Freddy.
That's right. He takes her and bangs her behind the animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
And then Allison swears that it really is like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there's nothing more romantic than banging behind the animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, considering I know for an absolute fact, because I've heard it from multiple sources, that if you're in It's a Small World in Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure every ride has that.
Yeah, that's where all the cast members go to. No, specifically It's a Small World is the place that all the cast members go to fuck because it's so loud. Because you have all of those animatronic things clicking and clacking as they're moving.
And here is her, after coming back from a Vegas trip, telling the office girls all about it. And she says, that's how it really happened. Swear to God. His crotch really does smell like vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the story. And then we move on to I Did It Frank's Way, which is about a boy.
Well, here's the question. Are you wanting to show everybody everything that's in the book, or do you want to leave things a mystery?
Oh, no, I'm going to show them all the fucking effort I put into it.
Okay.
I mean, they're seeing this on a tiny screen. Some of the people are watching this with their phone. This is not the experience of actually looking at it in their hands.
Okay.
Because they'll only get this experience if they buy it.
Yes, that's my.
Oh, I should probably skip
And
this.
yes, that demon has a front butt. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one where the black girl supposedly falls in love with a kaiju. So here's Pulsagari tearing up the hood.
I love the fact that the AI keeps wanting to give this kaiju multiple limbs that don't make any sense.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
I mean, for one thing, it has a little midget leg with a tail coming out of it.
I have no idea. Oh, and here is
Yeah.
Shaniqua's mom drinking a 40 and smoking a blunt. Now, the weird thing is it did not take much prompting for the computer to generate this image.
Mm.
Getting it to generate a kaiju destroying a city took a lot of prompting. This didn't.
Again, it makes me sad.
And here's the neighbor getting eaten. And here's Shaniqua horrified with what she's seeing.
Yeah.
That dick, it be bigger than my whole body. You know, because that's the kind of writing you should expect from an AI. Now, I will say I photoshopped some of this because I could not, for the life of me, get the AI to generate it. So, yeah, here's Shaniqua's mom. Here's Pulsagari. And, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part of Pulsagari you just aren't going to see because it's censored for those with heart conditions. And this is Pulsagari's O face, if you really care. What?
Because reasons.
Because reasons. And the weird thing is I didn't even ask it to generate this image.
No, you wanted it eating somebody.
Yeah, I was trying to get it to generate an image of the monster eating someone alive, and it gave me this image. And I was like, that's a monster's O face. So, yeah, there we go. So this is the kind of quality you're going to get. 90 pages of pure, steel hard Richard Steele. Harder than steel.
Yes.
Digital does not compare to the print in hand. Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, the digital, it's got an illustration for each story. It's 99 cents. But I figured if you guys are going to drop down money to buy a print edition, I had to go all out.
Mm-hmm.
I had to give you something that was worth actually having.
Put it all out there.
Well, no, I'm being honest. I've got a certain level of personal pride. And frankly, if I just slapped it together and released it, I'd feel like an asshole.
No, I mean, this is why you're known as being a creator of integrity. You know, you put out good stuff.
But what should have taken me one day took 3.
Well,
so 3 times the effort. Putting O in dinosaur. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should have Wolf on to read that story.
Oh, man.
Is she pulling her knees to her boobs? It looks like a scene from The Exorcist. Baby doll anatomy. It took effort to get AI art. Internet says otherwise. Oh, no, it's easy to get the AI to produce art. It's hard to make the AI produce what you want.
Especially when the AI has been trained to just make porn.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it one prompt once. Frank Sinatra. It gave me an anime girl. How the fuck do you screw that up?
You do it by giving you an anime girl. Everything that is not Frank Sinatra. Unless you want to make the joke that the AI did it his way.
Wait. Hope you'll take up that art. She looks Latina. Oh, so he will take us up on that offer.
Hey.
Well, we'll have you read it once it's in print. I still have to run. I still have to finish the cover. The way the thing goes with AI, or not AI, geez, this is how brain dead I am with Amazon, is before you can finish the cover, you need to know the page length. And to know the page length, you've got to lay it out first. So that's how I spent my day, that and listening to pulp stories. And let me tell you, we have found a lot of really good pulp stories.
Yeah, I'm really excited about putting out the next volume.
Now, I will say that I've read today the Warrior Maid of Mars, which is supposedly a classic. It was like watching paint dry or listening to paint dry. I am sorry, it was not very good. And the biggest disappointment of all about the Warrior Maid of Mars was that the Warrior Maid doesn't actually ever do any fighting, ever. So,
well, she's a maiden. She's not a warrior.
although the Cult of the Witch Queen's pretty fucking warped, written by Richard Shaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where the guy claimed it was real, and that he was saying that there were creatures, there was Amazonian women living beneath the earth that were going to enslave man.
Well, you said that he was unfortunately a little unhinged and that he really did believe what he was writing was true.
Yeah, well, or at least he claimed he did. But yeah, there was something he was mentally ill. I don't know if he was just a compulsive liar or if he was, what is it? Was it Munchausen syndrome? Where the person where they're constantly making shit up.
That's not Munchausen.
And they believe it at the time they believe it.
No, Munchausen syndrome is where you do things in order to get sympathy from people.
Oh,
get attention through sympathy. That's why Munchausen by proxy is, like abusing a child and then going, "Oh, my poor child's abused. Pity me."
But yeah, I am sorry. I was figuring, okay, this is a classic. We'll probably include. No, I'm not including it. In fact, I'm looking for it in my links right now to see if it's still there, and if so, I'm going to erase it. Nope, don't have it. Because, yeah, here it is. Warrior Maid of Mars by Alfred Koppel. Like watching paint dry. In fact, hey, let's share this screen instead. And yeah, the real aim here is I want to make sure that the pulps that we give you are good. That they're stories worth reading. Either they're so cheesy they're bad. They're so cheesy they're funny, but well written. But if it's just dull. No. Oh wait. Bar One's got a suggestion.
You need to refine and rewrite the story from Paul Segari's perspective.
That's actually not a bad idea. Imagine the boink boink with a nightmare fuel animatronic blasting a song that will drive you crazy in 5 minutes. That's from Cesario. Okay. Anyway. The Warrior Maid of Mars. So where were weeks back then? There were weeks back then. But yeah, this is supposedly a classic, and I'm figuring, okay, I'll probably put this in the Space Amazon anthology. Let me tell you, first off, the Warrior Maid is barely in it, and she doesn't do any fighting.
So that picture of her, shanking somebody is a total lie.
Yeah. I mean, at least with like the Golden Amazon stories, you get like plenty of her like ripping people's guts out and strangling people. I mean, it's kind of graphic, but Yeah, you don't get this. It's primarily about this dude here saving her.
Eh.
But and then if that had been the case, if it's just this dude saving her, I would have put that in the space adventure or rockets and ray guns.
Mhm.
Except the story's fucking boring. So how about you?
What about me?
You've been reading pulps.
Yeah. You want me to talk about them?
I would love you to talk about them.
Okay.
Oh, Rick says he collects Richard Shaver stories.
Oh, very cool.
Well, I am going to apologize then. The Witch Queen definitely is going to make it either into the Deadly Women or Dangerous Women anthology or the Amazon anthology, but I'm going to have to abridge it because it's too long.
Okay. Well, due to the recommendations of you, the listeners, I read 2 different Allison B. What's her last name?
The woman who wrote the Damp Man.
Yeah, I in fact I read The Damp Man. I have thoughts on The Damp Man. Well, first off, I read The Damp Man and then I read The House on the Edge of Midnight, which was wonderful. That was a great story. I understand why many of you said that she was underrated because even though the story itself was simple, it was a simple premise. There actually was some points where I had that that tension feeling of what's going to happen, and I legitimately couldn't guess if our main protagonists were going to get out of the situation alive or not. So to me, that's a sign of a great writer if I can't guess where it's going to go, nor am I really inclined to want to guess. So that story was great. The Damp Man, my problem with it is that nobody is a character, and our female protagonist is a MacGuffin, and frankly, nothing made sense. If you're just going to have that this man is pursuing a girl, and and she doesn't know why, and it's dark and spooky, that's a great premise for a short story. The problem is she put too much effort and backstory and other things in there to be vague, so everybody was a cardboard cutout, and then it took too long for the story to end, and when it did, it was highly unsatisfying. So that's my feelings on The Damp Man, and I refuse to read the other 2 stories because I just don't want more of that.
Ain't got time for that.
Ain't got time for that. But again, House on the Edge of Midnight, that was a great story, and I look forward to reading more of her books, or more of her short stories, I should say. So that was that. And then today I decided to dive into some of my favorite authors. I read Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Parasite. Wonderful story about a man who has come under the power of a mesmerist. They called them mesmerists back then. And basically it's through his own hubris that she started fucking with him, and it's what happens to him under her hypnotic suggestion to make him do random things, and it's legitimately creepy. And I know for a fact that he got a lot of his information based on his own research into spiritualism. And once again, Doyle amazes me that he is a very intelligent man who can logic out these things, and at the very least say, I need to have concrete, hard evidence that fantastic things are happening in order for me to believe it. And either his character will get that concrete evidence or they don't, and they react accordingly. And poor man, he couldn't do that for himself. So, but the story is absolutely wonderful. So highly, highly recommend.
So would you say it's something wonderful?
It is something wonderful.
Kind of like what happened with the monolith?
No, that's a different kind of wonderful. The kind of wonderful that, happens with booze. So that, and for the first time, I've always seen it. I never got a chance to read it, and today I did. I got to read Bram Stoker's.
May I have another?
Bram Stoker's Dracula's Guest, which was supposed to be in the book Dracula. So it's actually like the what's the word I'm looking for? Not prequel. What's prologue? It's the prologue to in Dracula that the publisher told him to cut. So he published it later as its own story. And then in his own notes, he then goes into explaining that the main protagonist in Dracula's Guest, which is never named, but in Stoker's notes, you find it's Renfield, and it's Renfield going to Dracula's castle, and it sets the stage for the kinds of horrors that poor Jonathan Harker is going to run into. And then, later in the book Dracula, you run into what's happened to Renfield afterwards. So it's a great story. The problem is that unless you're familiar with Dracula, it doesn't stand alone on its own. It really does need the rest of the book. So, but I'm happy to have finally read it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I came across a vampire story as well, and I'm kind of trying to find if this guy's written anything else. So far, I've found one thing, and it wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like it read like your typical space adventure fare to make a buck.
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote a story called Vampire of the Void by Neil R. Jones. And that wasn't the original title because it never takes place in space. It's on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But
void doesn't necessarily mean space.
But it was really, it was written in such a way that I would have thought it was a modern story,
mm-hmm.
including the concepts. And it's got that Earth has been taken over by this weird scientific cult, and they are kind of in a balance of power with space pirates, but they've produced all these genetic experiments to do their bidding. So they've got insect men that just do shit for them. They've got dwarfs that are for certain jobs. One of their failed experiments, but they kept them around anyway, were people with transparent skin. And as a weapon, they create this one woman whose sole purpose is to, she oozes poison. She's not really a vampire per se. She can drain life force, but like her sweat, her pores, every liquid from her body is poisonous.
So poison ivy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets a thrill from killing people. And it's told from her perspective of being this genetically engineered being whose sole purpose is to be a weapon, and the mindset of realizing that she's an amalgam of all these different people, and she's starting to remember the people that she was, but realizing she's also this thing who has unintentional urges to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And she meets a guy that she falls for, and she's struggling with trying not to kill him. And the setting alone was like, this could be a series. The setting where there's this weird cult that's turned science into a religion, and people will come to the cult with the promise of the synthetic eternity, meaning that they can live forever synthetically. And that's how they get acolytes. And
sounds like the Church of the Eternal Light.
Yeah, I mean, it is really a cool setting. Let's see. Neil R. Jones. Let's see if he did anything else. So far, I found one other thing, and again, it was just your standard kind of ray guns and rockets fare. It wasn't anything special.
Mm-hmm.
But the story, yeah, like I said, it's really, really well done.
Well, Google showed that he did a story called Shipwrecked. I mean, instantly, that sounds interesting.
So that was one of the things I had read in the great search for pulp for our audience. I had read another one that, like I said, we're doing one of the anthologies is going to be called Dangerous Women, because there's a difference between Space Amazons and the theme of dangerous women. Would you agree with that?
You said there's a theme. Do you mean that just in general it exists, or do you mean...
there was a thing in pulp where there was these stories about extremely dangerous women.
Yeah, that's true.
But they weren't, and the Amazons and the Space Valkyries were kind of a genre unto themselves. So they don't really belong, right? Like, for instance, Shamblu is, well, actually, Shamblu is a space vampire as well,
Mm-hmm.
by C.L. Moore. It's just an incredible story. I don't even want to get into that without Fiona on there. That is such, again, that's another one of those. It was written like 39. It's like, I would have thought this was written like in the 80s.
Cool.
But like The Ultimate Adaptive by Stanley G. Weinbaum, about a woman who's a homeless woman who's sick, and scientists have decided, oh, well, we need a lab rat. And they make it that she can, basically they give her the adaptive ability of, I think, an insect.
Mm-hmm.
And she keeps adapting faster and faster until she's superhuman and starts getting, visions of world conquest. And she's basically gone power mad. Black Empress, woman uses advanced weapons to conquer the world. The Deadly Daughters are very interesting because it's actually about feminists setting up a nanny state and their assassins guild of how they knock people out who might raise questions.
Interesting.
Vampire the Void I'm including in the Deadly Women.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what Green Venus... I don't know. Maybe I should put this one into Space Adventure. Venus Had Green Eyes was more of a Western about a prospector who runs into a space pirate, and it's kind of a who's got the quick draw.
Mm.
You know what? Yeah, this doesn't belong in Deadly Women. I'm putting this into Rockets and Ray Guns. But yeah, there does seem to be this genre of either women who are incredibly dangerous or become power mad once given the chance. And that's a recurring theme. So I thought, okay, that should be one in its own. Or women being created as weapons, like the Ultimate Eve. An alien race creates her to come to Earth and basically corrupt everyone, kind of like in Metropolis.
Sorry, I got distracted by Uncle Bourbon's post. I'm here and I fucked up a brownie. Well, I have questions. Anyway, please continue.
The Ultimate Eve was an alien race had created this like woman that was perfect in every way that no man wouldn't be able to resist her.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was to cause chaos.
Shouldn't her name be Eris, not Eve?
Yeah, probably. Well, there is an Adam and Eve twist at the very end, but...
Well, no, if her point is to cause chaos. The other is maybe rename her Pandora instead. The original story of Pandora.
I'll repost these, but I did find this on Discord. A fair amount of old pulps in PDF format. Galaxy Magazine. Interesting.
Awesome. Thank you, Fiona.
But yeah, Shamblu is by C.L. Moore, and my God, is it a good story. And it does have, again, a vampirism vibe.
Cool.
So anyway, yeah.
Well, I know the story I'm currently reading, I haven't finished it yet, is Eye of the Vampire by Henry Cutter? Kuttner?
Kuttner, yeah.
Kuttner.
That's C.L. Moore's husband, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm really impressed by it. It is Hollywood noir. It is downright Hollywood noir. It, as I'm reading it, I'm seeing the visuals in front of me like it's Sunset Boulevard. And it doesn't hurt at all that all of the places that it mentions I know from my childhood because I grew up in Los Angeles, so I can see everything, or I know all the places that he's mentioning. But it's basically about a French vampire who decides he's going to get into the movies, and how well that goes over.
Really?
And on top of that, it is a retelling, not beat for beat, but it is a retelling of The Vampire by I can't remember the original author's name, but that was written in 1838, I believe. And it's one of the stories that inspired Stoker. And The Vampire is a classic. I highly recommend it. But it's a retelling of that story, but set in 1920s Hollywood.
Cool. Very cool.
So I haven't finished it yet, but it's really good.
Okay, here's the thing with the Sword and Planet one. I'm going through and I've found a few that definitely work. I think the problem is it's so close to fantasy. I'm not the best person to be collecting these, to be upfront. The Sword and Planet one has 3 entries so far, and it's just because it's not, again, it's so close to fantasy, I'm not the right person to be selecting these. And let's just say that 2 of the stories are C.L. Moore, okay? And 1 by Leigh Brackett. So that should kind of sum it up with the problem here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would need someone else who's more, okay.
Are you looking at Black Sun Rising?
Yeah, I'll write that down. We'll check that out. Speaking of which, have you all gone out and bought Ridiculum to support this project of ours?
Mm-hmm.
Link in the description. Because if you want us to do this, you got to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important part. I mean, Richard Steele, I would just as be happy that you guys went and left really cheesy fake reviews. But Ridiculum, I would prefer you just buy.
What's the vampire story called? The one I was just talking about?
Yes.
It's called I, the Vampire.
By the way, the link's in the description for Ridiculum and the butt steak deal. I think once the hard copy is available, the print edition, I'll have you and Janelle read some of it.
Cool.
To promote it. But and let me tell you, for those of you who own a copy of Ridiculum, I've got to toot my own horn. It's pretty top notch. I think I did one hell of a job on the layout.
I think you did, and you worked in original artwork from the published stories.
Yeah, one of the things I'm going to try and do with these is restore and include all of the original artwork from these magazines in the print editions for this series, the Immortal Classics. Tweldy says he's the first to buy it.
Thank you, Tweldy.
But yeah, The Amazon fights again.
Wait, go back to that picture.
Yeah,
Is that not the lawgiver?
it kind of looks like a lawgiver, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wish we could get a hold of the second iteration of the Amazon where she's a ruthless bitch,
Which I find highly entertaining.
but I cannot find any that include her origin.
Mm.
And they're very hard to get a hold of. I'm guessing the guy that transcribed them must have found the old books and scanned them and put them up, but they're
Mhm.
nowhere on the net. There are no scans posted from what I can find, and the ones on archive, no. But here, share this instead. The Cult of the Witch Queen by Richard S. Shaver. This is some insane shit. I mean, this is going to go on the Amazon one, but this is some real insane shit. It's up there kind of on the level of David Icke at some points.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway.
What are they, lizards?
Oh, no, they're just vicious women.
Ah.
They have midget people that do their bidding.
They trying to steal a man's essence?
No, they're capturing children and draining their blood to extend their own life and increase their own power.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
There, huh?
Yeah, kinda. And they're engaged in Satanism.
Kind of prophetic there, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, in this book, it's hilarious. Our main character runs into the Renfield type person, and he says, "How'd you meet this guy?" And he goes, "Well, I was in France, and I was invited to one of their art parties. You know how it is, and and then they said, well, if you want to see something really really insane, it's like, yes, I do. So they took me into the back, and there was the whole devil worshiping thing, doing rituals and bloodletting, and I got really bored, so I was gonna leave." I'm like, wow, that's some honesty there.
I don't think he was lying.
No, I know. And he said as he was gonna leave, he ran into the vampire, who then made him a thrall. Okay. But it was just that whole bit of he's building up all the Satanism that he was seeing, and he goes, and it was really boring. I'd seen all this before. So I decided to leave.
Okay, so Black Sun Rising by C.S. Friedman is not on Project Gutenberg. So let's see if there's a LibriVox. This is best way to find out if it's public domain.
Published 1992.
Oh, well, fuck that. Yeah, that's not going to be public domain at all.
No.
But yeah, anyway, been reading quite a bit of pulp, some of it good, some of it bad. And like I said, again, we want this to be synonymous with quality, so we do not want to put the ones that read like paint drying.
No, we want stories that are engaging and fun.
And do not suck.
And do not suck. Exactly. Not sucking is very important.
I wish I had a more encyclopedic knowledge of Richard Shaver, because, again, he is reason enough to do an episode on just him. He's so fascinating. And just how much he pissed off the more stuck-up elitist side of the sci-fi community.
Oh, you said that he thought Fort was real?
Oh, he took Fort very seriously. But carbon is the basis of life, and here in the crypt was a figure made of pure diamond. Could it be human? Could it be alive? That looks like, yeah, another one is we're eventually going to have to do kind of a high adventure Indiana Jones one because of the things we're coming across.
Well, I also want to do, the armchair detectives, because that was a huge genre back in the day.
Ugh. Destroying robots. Oh, we've got a robot anthology,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kicking along very, very quickly. But then Kat switched gears because she preferred wanting horror.
You told me to switch to
Yeah,
horror.
well, that's what you said you were more interested in.
No, you asked me what is it that I'm interested in putting out, and I said I really want to have a horror book out by August.
So I said,
And
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's not that we just switched gears. It's that you told me to.
Ugh. Ugh. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. And again, would love any insight or advice anyone has. Telepathy and silence. So anyway. I don't know. You want to say anything else? We've been on for about an hour.
Yeah.
Should
We
we?
had a good show. We talked about some good stories.
Yes, we did.
Doing the good work. Talking to people about pulps. Because let's face it, finding good things to read is kind of hard to do right now.
Yeah, just saying read pulp. It's like, well, a lot of them kind of suck.
And that is the thing, is how many stories you talked about where it was painfully obvious they were paid by the word, and that there is a good story there, but you have to knock out 2/3 of the verbiage in order to get to that good story.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. The Golden Amazons of Venus. Frankly, I think taking it down from 38,000 words to 25,000 words was a vast improvement.
Yes, Fiona, Tale of Two Cities is the poster child for paid by the word. I really, to this day, no, I know how I got through that book, and that is I didn't absorb a damn bit of it.
So yes, Ridiculum, classic pulp sci-fi tales with a humorous twist, is currently available 99 cents on Kindle, or free if you're part of Kindle Direct, or let's go back to the screen. $7.99 in hardback, or not hardback, in soft
paperback.
In paperback. And let me tell you, this paperback book is 265 pages. I dare you to name a book on the shelf right now at that length. There's only $8. Typically, it's 12.
Prices have gone up.
Yeah. But high quality cover, high quality layout. And I'll show you what I mean. Again, this isn't just some slap together title that somebody threw into Amazon. It's
no, you use fonts.
It's got legit graphic design to it. It's got the original art from the stories. So, look, it's quality.
Indeed.
And if you want to laugh, there's 99 cents, the butt steak deal. Now you've gotten a taste of what it's about.
You have tasted the butt steak.
What does butt steak taste like?
It is juicy.
It is juicy?
Yes.
And read who's in Ridiculum.
Well, Ridiculum contains Philip K. Dick, Robert Sheckley, Murray Leinster. Leinster? Yeah, okay. John D. MacDonald, Harry Harrison, C.L. Moore, Henry Kuttner, and more.
And more. Oh, and my editorial. Or my intro to the book.
And everyone's favorite alien in a human suit, J.Ishiro Finney.
Yes. And in other news, Land and Sea is a damn good series.
Is it?
Oh yeah, I'm really loving this series. I can't wait for the third one to be on audio. And I can't wait for the game to come out. Pulsagari is nice. Well, if you get the digital version, you won't see. You have to see Pulsagari's O face.
Mhm. Yes, it is only special for those who can hold it in their hands.
Fiona, would you like to come on sometime and talk to us about classic pulp, since that's your jam?
Yeah. Tell us about the pew pew.
Yes.
We need more pew pew.
Seriously, we want to know about the pew pew.
Maybe that's what it should be entitled, Sword and Pew Pew.
Oh, and again, I don't even care if you buy the book or not. In the link is a link to the butt steak deal. Please, for the love of God, give it fake reviews. Because you know what? The butt steak deal, the paperback, all of your reviews of Robomancer show up in there. I reprint them.
So there you go.
So yeah, anytime you leave a review for Richard Steele, it's going to get reprinted.
We share the love.
And in fact, Ironcast Knight's review was so good, I print it in full at the very end of the book.
Nice.
Because it's just that damn funny.
Excellent.
Okay, so maybe we can bring her on for Writer's Room and we can talk pulp.
Sure.
You good for next Wednesday? I know just conversations over the air are probably just great with the chat, right?
Hey, let us know, Fiona.
All right. I guess we should call it a night.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I encourage all of you, I don't even care if you buy the book, go to the butt steak deal, link in the description, and leave bogus reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I want bogus reviews.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Good night.
And as Roltz would say, don't fall on any dicks.
Yes.
Unless you want to.
Exactly. Consensual falling on dicks.